from a whole bunch of stuff from Ted. Everyone see Ted? Yeah! That's a fun film. Let's bring her out right now. She's going to be on a new series on space called Bitten. It's Laura Vandervoort!
How y'all doing?
Pour you a nice glass of water.
Thank you. That was a lovely introduction.
I'm bad at pouring. So, yesterday, you were on our panel for Inner Space, because that's where we announced that you were going to be on a new series, Bitten. We just did an interview, just a little while ago, with some very big Bitten fans.
2 people. All right. Good start.
Yeah, they're fans because it was actually based on a series of novels by Canadian author Kelly Armstrong. So why don't you set up the premise of these novels and how it's going to be translated to TV?
I will do my best.
Yes, she
this is
just
all
found out.
Just happening.
Yeah.
They cast me a couple of weeks ago, and we announced it yesterday. So I haven't read the books. I'm very excited too, and I know that they're quite popular. So what it is really is I'm the only female werewolf in existence in the world, and I'm torn between my life as a human with my human boyfriend in Toronto, which is where we're going to be shooting.
It's set in Toronto too. It's not Toronto pretending to be Chicago.
It is Toronto, original Toronto. And she's torn between that and her life back with the cat in New York at Stonehaven. And also between 2 lovers, a werewolf who was the one that bit her and changed her, and the human that she falls in love with. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be very gritty and real, great special effects. So a bit of nudity. At some point, I'm sure. No.
We've been pushing boundaries on space. There are some shows with the swearing now and the nudity.
It's very edgy. What's that?
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about my oatmeal investment. I have to tell the whole story. Let's just make it about Laura here.
That's the thing, is there's a lot of transforming into werewolves. So, so I've discussed it with the producers, and it's going to be done really, really well. So I'm excited, and we're just in the process of casting our male leads, and we just auditioned him a second ago.
Just auditioned. Didn't go so well, but we'd like to announce that I'll be playing a guy in a grocery store who bags her groceries.
And comments on how much meat I'm buying.
Because a werewolf would buy a lot of raw meat. As an improv. Task my feet. Is it really rewarding to, or somewhat frustrating when, you know, you're an aspiring actress, you get all these big American TV series like SMALLVILLE and B, and then they all shoot in Canada. It's like a mixed bag of like, getting to LA, but then well, it's shooting at home. So it's got to be a bit of both.
I mean, it's a little bit. When I got SMALLVILLE, I was excited to leave my parents' house. And it shot in Vancouver, so that was great. I love Vancouver, and then we went right into B in Vancouver. So 2 American shows, but I still got to be someone in my own country, not my own city, but that was actually great. But it's frustrating now, in a great way, because I just moved to LA, got the green card, and committed to bought the furniture. And just as I bought that last piece of furniture, this happens, which I'm very thankful for. So I'll go between the 2 for a while.
Well, we're happy to have you here in Toronto and at the convention. If you have any questions for Laura, feel free to raise your hands, but I can keep talking to Laura for a long time. Oh, there's one right there in the front row.
Hi.
Laura, could you tell about how presenting at the Canadian first Canadian Screen Awards came about and a bit about the experience?
Yeah, I was honored. I was asked to present at the very first Canadian Screen Awards, which is basically, if you hadn't seen it, our Golden Globes. It's the combination of the Genies and the Geminis. And I got to present the best documentary, and it was fantastic. I was nervous. I don't do audiences very often. I prefer the camera. So I was nervous for a good portion of it, and then once my presentation was over, I had a drink. It was great. So it was an honor, and I hope to go next year as well. Thank you.
I got to ask you about Ted, because we all know Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy and American Dad, the Cleveland Show.
Everything in the world.
Yeah, basically all media. Or the host of the Academy Awards, directed Ted. You had a great role in there. Is he a super geek? Was he geeking out about the fact that you were a Supergirl?
We've actually been friends for a while.
Ah.
And I've done a few Family Guy episodes, so there was no geeking out. I think I was probably geeking out more than he was. You know, he's a nerd. He loves Star Trek. He loves Star Wars. That's why there were so many references at the Oscars to it. And Ted was amazing for me to do. I mean, I did scenes with Mark Wahlberg, and he was my first crush.
Oh.
I had his poster on my wall, Mark and Mark and the Bunk Bunch. And didn't let him know that until now. But it was great. And if you watch behind the scenes and the deleted stuff, I'm actually in a bit more.
I figured there was another subplot with your character.
There was a whole subplot with one of the other characters, John Viner's character, and they just didn't have time for it. But there will be a Ted 2, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently. Don't quote me on it.
I'd see it.
Quote me on it, apparently.
There's a question from the crowd.